Good day, Coach Jude and classmates. I'm Michelle Garina, the little teacher of Study of Three. Today, before I start, let me first introduce my members and their topics. And I am the first speaker, and I will be going to discuss about form of learner-centered classroom, organization, procedures, and physical structure, the room structuring, and classroom routines. The second reporter is Camille Sanchez. She will be discussing about social environment. The third speaker is Melody Alip. She will be discussing about the creating motivating learning environment. And the fourth speaker is Trixie Marin Senda. She will be discussing about the roles and responsibilities environment. And of course, to complete my group member, the last but not the least, the fifth reporter, Richelle Joy Gagano Cruz. She will be discussing about the role of discipline in learner-centered classroom. Okay, so here are the learning objectives. At the end of the unit, the PTC can identify various forms of learner-centered classroom organization based on learners' needs. Formulate classroom procedures and routines that promote discipline, respect, and care among learners and encourage learning. Design and organize and explain the significance of the classroom for active engagement of learners, individually or in a group, in exploration, discovery, hands-on, and self-learning activities. Describe the roles and responsibilities of the teachers and the learners for a supportive, inspiring motivation and productive learner-centered classroom. And evaluate which disciplinary actions are positive and non-violent in the management of learner behavior. Okay, so let's start the discussion. The form of learner-centered classroom organization and the procedures physical structure. Okay, so physical setup is one of the most important components in teaching. It reflects your teaching style and it also reflects you. Okay, so how design our classroom can impact on the way our students think clearly. A conducive learning environment promotes effective teaching and learning. So first, we have the room structuring. So here in room structuring, we have individualized learning. So individualized learning set up learning centers or stations for students to work at their own pace. So it depending on their abilities and interests. So set up an individual work area for this type of learning. Okay, so learning station that helps students work at their own pace based on their interest and abilities. So just like for example, a teacher set up a reading corner or a math practice station. So these are the examples of teaching stations for individualized learning. And also we have group learning. So group learning, organize them around tables or cluster of desks. You can organize them in a groups of 4 for cooperative learning. Okay, so the desks arranged in clusters of 4, it promotes the teamwork and the cooperative learning. Okay, so for example here in the group learning is in science class, a student in groups of 4 collaborate on an experiment. Okay, so that's under in-group learning. And also we have for whole group discussion. Okay, so here, try a circle or U-shaped desk configuration where everyone has a front row seat. Okay, so a U-shape or circular arrangement ensures all students can see and engage in discussion. For example, here is a history teacher organized the class U-shape for debate for historical event. And last, also we have the activity-oriented classroom. So here, set up a large table for cooperative projects, provide a space for messy and wet projects. So here, this is the large table and designated spaces for hands-on activities encourage creativity. Just like for example in a art class, so a dedicated area allows students to paint and sculpt. Okay, so that's under activity-oriented classroom. Okay, now, so let's move forward. Second, we have the classroom routines and procedures. So here, creating consistent routines for common classroom events like getting attention, correcting homeworks, excusing oneself, posting visuals, updating and missed lessons, break time, and clearing desks. Okay, so help to maintain order and frees teacher to focus on instruction. So according to Erlinda Di Serrano and Ana Ruby M. Paez, classroom events that can be routinized on the following. First is getting the attention of the student. Okay, so for example here, to get the attention of your student, so here the example are teacher clap twice and student responds by clapping back to a signal silence. Okay. Next is correcting homework in class. So here, a math teacher review homework by having students check each other work with a checklist. Next is excusing oneself from class for emergency purpose. So here, a student raise a hand and use a hall pass before leaving for the room. Next, we have the posting visual aid on the board. So here, a teacher designated a bulletin board for lesson updates and motivational quotes. And also updating on missed lessons. So here, a classroom has a designated missed work folder where absent student can collect assignments, and also clearing the table and desk, swapping of partners in discussion, forming participation groups, and reporting and sharing of responses. So that's the under classroom routines and procedures. So the benefits of routines. So reduce anxiety and allows teacher and student to predict expectations, leading to a more efficient learning environment. So the following are reasons why faithful observance of routines is highly beneficial. So first, we have the routine procedures help in freeing the mind of teachers to think about other matters in teaching. So if every time an activity is performed and a teacher has no consider some options on how to do it, it will be too taxing on his and her part to constantly think and decide. So frees the teacher's mind. So a teacher doesn't have to keep reminding students how to submit their assignments. Okay. Second, we have establishing routines on how to collect assignments or distributing materials enables the teacher to focuses more on his or her lesson planning. So here, for better lesson planning, is having a routine for distributing materials saves instructional time. Third, we have the execution of lessons. So a teacher who has routines for calling on student is relieving him or herself on the burden of worrying about whom to call next. So this allowing more to time to focus on what being shared by the students. Okay, so here, smooth execution of lessons calling on students systematically ensures for participations. Fourth, it is easier for the student to predict their teachers must more and armed with such as knowledge, they can concentrate and learn more. So here, predictability for student, they know what is expect and reducing confusion. Fifth, we have the stability is assumed, especially for the new students who are unfamiliar with the class rules. So here, helps the new student adjust a clear routines, make it easier for the newcomers to integrate. The last is reduce anxiety on the part of students who do not know how to get involved in the different classes activities. So here, reduces an anxiety, students feel more confident when they understand the procedures. So, in summary, the way we structure our classroom and establish routines and procedures has a significant impact on student learning. So, a well organized classroom enhances engagement, promotes collaboration, and creates a positive learning atmosphere. By implementing learner-centered room structuring such as individualized learning stations, group work setups, and activity-oriented spaces, we can cater to different learning styles and needs. Likewise, establishing clear routines from getting attention to organized materials helps maintain order, reduces anxiety, and allows both student and teachers to focus on their learnings. Okay, so as a future educators, it is our responsibility to create a classrooms that fosters engagements, structure, and creativity environments where students feel comfortable, motivated, and empowered to learn. So, let's commit to designing classrooms that inspire and support every learner's growth. So, that's all for today. Thank you for listening.
Good day, my name is Camille Sanchez with Bitland IA Section 1B, and today I will be discussing about social environment. So, social environment refers to the surroundings or conditions which individuals interact with other including family, friends, and coworkers. The social environment, society at large, it encompasses the relationship, cultural norms, values, and expectations that influence behavior and social interactions. So, social environment can also a positive and negative. In positive, social environment can foster personal well-being, support, and development, while negative social environment can lead to stress, isolation, and conflict. So, in summary, the social environment is a multifaceted concept that includes immediate personal relationship, community influences, and border social system.
Good day, Coach Jude. Good day, classmates. My name is Melody A. Ali, PTEL IA1B. So now I will tackle about creating motivating learning environment. So, to create a motivating learning environment, focus on building positive relationship, making learning relevant and engaging, providing opportunities for autonomy and collaboration, and fostering a safe and inclusive space where students feel valued and supported. So number 1, build positive relationship. New year students, take the time to learn about their interests and strengths and learning styles. Create a safe and welcome environment. Ensure students feel comfortable making risks and making mistakes. Show genuine care and empathy, recognizing and acknowledge their effort and achievements. Number 2, make learning relevant and engaging. Connecting learning to real-world applications. Show students how the material they are learning can be used in their lives. Use a variety of teaching methods. Incorporate interactive activities, group work, and technology to keep students engaged. Encourage collaboration and peer learning. Allow students to learn from each other and develop their social skills. Make learning fun. Incorporate games, puzzles, and other activities. Make learning enjoyable. Number 3. Foster autonomy and ownership. Give students choices and control over their learning. Allow them to choose topics, projects, or activities that interest them. Encourage self-reflection and goal setting. Help students to understand their strengths and weaknesses and set realistic goals from themselves. Provide timely and constructive feedback. Help students to understand their progress and identify areas for improvement. Number 4, create an inclusive and supportive environment. Value diversity and differences. Create a classroom where all students feel welcome and respect. Promote a positive behavior and respect. Establish clear expectations and consequences for behavior. Provide support and resources. Ensure students have access to resources they need to succeed. Encourage students to take leadership roles. Provide opportunities for students to develop their leadership skills and take ownership for their learning. So that's all. Thank you.
Everyone, I am Trixie Mayrin Vicenda, the Port Reporter. My assigned topic is Learner-Centered Classroom Roles and Responsibilities. So we have the part of the learner responsibilities and the roles of learners. So here's the student-centered classroom involved changes in the roles and responsibilities of learners and instructors in the delivery of instructional strategies. And learning itself, this all differ from those in the traditional teacher-centered classroom. So, teacher, number 1 is recognize and accommodate different learning modalities. Second is provide structure without being overly directive. And the third is listen to and respect each learner's point of view. The fourth one is encourage and facilitate learners' shared decision making. And the last part is helping learners work through difficulties by asking open-ended questions. So here the learners, number 1, active participant in their own learning. Second is make decision about what how do we learn. And the third one is construct new knowledge and skills by building on current knowledge and skills. So next is the rules. We have the rules and responsibilities. Rules are specific guidelines or instruction created by own organization or authority to regulate behavior and activities. Next, they are important of maintaining order, safety, and fairness. Example of rules include traffic laws, workplace policies, and regulation, school regulation. Next is the responsibilities. We have the responsibilities are duties or obligation one is expected to fulfill. And next is they can be related to work, family, or community. Examples of responsibilities is completing tasks at work, caring for family members, or participating in community.
Today, I'm Rachel Joy Gagano Cruz, and I will be the PIF reporter, and my topic is all about role of discipline in a learner-centered classroom. Discipline in a learner-centered classroom creates a structured, respectful, and engaging learning environment where students take responsibility for their behavior and learning. Instead of strict teacher control, it focuses on self-discipline, mutual respect, and active participation. When the students follow classroom expectation, they develop self-regulation, time management, and teamwork skills, which enhance their learning experience. Like for example, a teacher sets guidelines for a group project, ensuring that students take turns speaking, listening actively, and contribute equally. These structured disciplines allows students to collaborate effectively, stay focused, and respect each other opinions, leading to productive and inclusive discussion. So, in conclusion, discipline in a learner-centered classroom is not about strict control but about fostering responsibility, respect, and active engagement in learning. By promoting self-discipline and accountability, students develop essential life skills that prepare them for both academic and personal success.